Good evening. Pay attention to several breaking and important developments regarding tensions between the United States and Iran. In the latest update, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has left Islamabad after holding intensive meetings with senior Pakistani officials, without holding any direct talks with the American delegation. According to reports, during his visit, Araghchi met with Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and the country's army chief Asim Munir, along with other high-ranking officials. The discussions focused on the latest developments in the conflict and ongoing efforts to maintain a ceasefire. Official sources say he was carrying messages from Tehran intended to be delivered to the United States through Pakistan. However, Iran has emphasized that it has no plans for direct negotiations with Washington, and Islamabad's role is strictly limited to that of a mediator. Meanwhile, reports indicate that after leaving Pakistan, Araghchi traveled to Muscat, Oman, as part of a broader regional tour that also includes Moscow. But here's the key point. Despite earlier announcements from the White House about sending a negotiating delegation to Pakistan, new reports suggest that the American team has not even departed from Washington yet. This has left the negotiation process in a state of uncertainty and stagnation. Now the big question is, what message is Iran sending to the United States? According to analysts, Iran is currently attempting to leverage its position in the conflict to secure major concessions. Three primary objectives are being highlighted. First, the lifting of sanctions, especially in the oil sector. At present, Iran produces around 1 million barrels of oil per day, often sold below market price due to sanctions. However, if restrictions are lifted, the country has the capacity to increase production to up to 5 million barrels per day, a shift that could generate billions in revenue. Second, the release of Iran's frozen assets abroad, which are estimated to exceed $120 billion. And third, the possibility of receiving large-scale economic support, with some reports suggesting figures as high as $250 billion. Under these conditions, Iran is trying to maintain diplomatic pressure in order to gain the upper hand in negotiations. At the same time, security concerns are rapidly escalating. Some analysts warn that new attacks by the United States or Israel could occur even during negotiations or message exchanges. These concerns are not unfounded. In recent years, military strikes have occurred during negotiation periods, deeply undermining trust between the sides. There are even reports that China and Russia have warned Iran that negotiations could be used as a tactic for military surprise. In response, Iran has taken several steps in the region, including boosting defensive readiness, acquiring new military equipment, and increasing activity around the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical energy routes in the world. Meanwhile, the United States has intensified its naval blockade against Iran, a move that Tehran considers an act of war. And now, Iran's Khatam al-Anbiya central headquarters has issued a warning. If the situation continues, Iran's response will be immediate, decisive, and widespread. The statement emphasized that U.S. interests and assets in the region could become targets. Alongside these tensions, another major issue is unfolding: the situation of Afghan refugees. According to reports, the U.S. government is considering a plan to relocate around 1,100 Afghan refugees from Qatar to countries such as Congo. The proposal has sparked strong criticism from several U.S. senators. At the same time, the Taliban administration has urged Afghan nationals in Qatar to return home, claiming there are no security threats inside Afghanistan. However, many refugees remain unconvinced and fear returning. On the other hand, the United Kingdom has also announced it is reviewing plans to deport some Afghan asylum seekers whose applications have been rejected, a move that has raised serious concerns among migrant communities. Overall, the region remains in a highly sensitive state. On one hand, diplomatic efforts to reduce tensions continue, while on the other, the possibility of further conflict still looms heavily over the region. And now, all eyes are on the coming days to see whether diplomacy will prevail or if the region will enter a new phase of escalation.